Hi, welcome to the video today. This video is about have you made mistakes in your life? And do you feel horrible about them? Or do you feel horrible about yourself because of the way your life has gone? Now, at first, what you want to do is acknowledge it. Acknowledge that you're feeling this way. And then accept it. Accept that you're feeling the way you are. So if you're feeling horrible or you're feeling bad or you're feeling negative, whatever it is, it's okay. A lot of times in life, we're told that we can't make mistakes. And it's like we all have to be perfect. But that's what keeps you chasing that perfection. It keeps you chasing that because there's no way that you can be perfect for each person. I mean, your perfection is the perfection within you and the perfection that you being yourself, who you are meant to be, your unique, amazing, beautiful self. Now that's beautiful whether you're a girl or a guy. And that's fine because you can think things like that when you have your masculine and your feminine balanced. You can think things like that and not be funny about it. Not think, oh, I'm beautiful. I mean, it doesn't mean that like your complexion, your look of the outside of your body, your face, it doesn't mean you look beautiful. It means that you're a beautiful person that people like and love to be around, and you're likable. And to continue on, just be okay with making those mistakes, because when you make a mistake, you allow yourself to be in your life. You allow yourself to live. When you're living your life and you're making those mistakes, they're things that teach you. They're things that help you to grow, that stretch your whatever it is that you came here to learn, that stretches you outside of your comfort zone. And that's okay, because when things stretch you, you grow and you expand and you grow into a new person. You become the person that you're meant to be and become. So, I mean, again, other people can get stuck with thinking that you made a mistake or that you're maybe not a good person. But that's okay, because that's just a negative thing that they have. And maybe it's a negative thing that they see in themselves that they also possess that they don't like about themselves. So they're going to project it as something that you're doing. A lot of times, and that's one of the things that I learned along the way, is that how you feel about other people is how you're feeling and judging yourself. So if there's something you don't like in somebody else and you're seeing it and you get annoyed with it and you're like, oh, I don't like that person. But it's not the person that you don't like. It's their actions, the things that are similar to whatever it is that you don't like about yourself. And remember, mistakes, they equal growth. Mistakes fuel growth, because you're going to find out things that you like or don't like along the way, or things that you shouldn't do or should do. And that's going to cause you to make adjustments and make things come better in the situation, to better the situation for yourself. And you start to shift your thoughts. When you make these adjustments, you shift your thoughts, because if you're not doing so well in say like a job, or you're not doing so well in a sport that you're playing, you do the things that you know how to do, that you've seen other people do, and you make adjustments. Example that I have is, and I enjoy basketball myself, is shooting a basketball. Not everybody knows how to do it, but there is a certain way and technique for you to learn how to do it. So you start off shooting the way you saw somebody do it and the way that you think that your body should do and move and be like. And maybe you don't start making that many. And you have to acknowledge, okay, I need to try something different. I need to try something new. And then a person comes along and says, here, hey, do this. Or a person comes along that knows how to shoot and make baskets. And you say, hey, can you teach me this? Can you teach me how to do this? I want to learn how to shoot better. This happened to me once. I had taught this guy when I was at the gym. I was playing basketball, and this guy came up to me and he's like, you shoot pretty good. He's like, can you show me some pointers? And I gave him pointers. And I saw the guy, I helped him for probably 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes at most. And he remembered the things that he was taught, and he came back, I think the next couple of days I was there, like a little bit later, maybe the next week. I saw him again, and he said, yeah, man, I got in on a game, and I started using the stuff that you taught me. He's like, and I started making these shots. He's like, thanks, man. And he appreciated it. But he had to try something different, and he had to make the attempt in the first place. And the attempt that he made originally, he was not making baskets. He wasn't even hitting the rim. And I told him how to shift and move his arms and hold the ball and to lift his arms and to shoot in a different motion. And he learned how to do it better. And he implemented the things that he was taught and practiced them. And that's what you have to do with life and anything else. Implement things that you learn along the way, and things that you learn that you like to do or things that you don't like to do. And maybe you like to do a certain way differently, and you try it that way, and maybe it works out for you. But then when you implement these things and you practice them and you get them down and you say, this is the way I should shoot to be able to shoot the ball better and make more baskets, you start making more baskets. And you feel better about yourself. And you feel better because, hey, I put in the work. That person, that I taught the guy how to do it, but he put in the work. So he should also feel good that way about the fact that he tried and he learned to do things better. He learned to shoot better. And he learned to shoot better not only just practicing during a game, and he was able to do that then. So he transferred it even better. He took it a step further and made it so it was something he could do while he was playing with other people and not just playing and shooting by himself. So turn your mistakes into learning opportunities. Mistakes are mistakes. They're just that. I mean, you shift your thoughts. Instead of, I made a mistake, I suck at this. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at shooting baskets. And you take that and you take the way that you were learning how to do it, and you take the new way of learning how to do it and say, oh, you know what? I didn't have my arm straight when I was shooting. And when I shot the ball, my arm wasn't straight when I released it. I was shooting the ball over here, and I wondered why the ball went to the left of the basket. And eliminate the negativity. Eliminate the negative, poor feelings. Putting yourself down. Because when you're putting yourself down and you're thinking poorly, it's going to cause the situation to be poor for you. You're not going to get the result that you want. You're not going to go through life the way you want to if you continue to put yourself down. And that's something that's up here. And it's your thoughts, your feelings, and beliefs. So while that's going on, another step is to take notice of the thoughts that you have. Take notice of the thoughts that are causing you negative things to happen in your life, pain, and causing you sensitivity. Shift your thoughts. Shift it from negative, poor thoughts to good thoughts that make you feel good. Some of the negative, anything that's putting you down, anything that's causing you to feel shame. Because shame, is on the scale of, I don't even know how to describe it quickly. Basically, you feel shame, it's at the bottom of all the feelings that you could have. And It's not going to make you continue to feel good, and you're not going to have a high vibration when you feel shame. You're going to have a low vibration. It's going to cause you to have a low vibration about everything, because it's going to shift over into other things that you're doing in your life, and it's going to bleed over and cause issues with that. Shift it to positive, encouraging, things that feel good, that you feel good about. And it's going to be different for everybody. So like you take things like saying like, oh, I suck at this. I suck at shooting baskets. I don't know why I'm even trying. I don't know what's going on. I can't do this. When you say those things, your brain's going to say, hey, that's what I need to do because that's what I need to fulfill. Right? Your brain does what you tell it to do. And how you think and the things that you say out loud, the way you speak, the way you think about things, negative things come up, negative results happen. Positive things come up, positive things happen. You get a good result. How much do you think you would do in a situation? How good do you think you would do if you had a person telling you, you suck, you shouldn't even be shooting baskets, you shouldn't even be doing this, and anything. Anybody that says, hey, you suck at being a waiter. Why are you even a waiter? That sucks because you don't even know what you're doing. But that person may be new and they may not have learned things, and they may have to go through those things and shift and make changes and make the awareness of what they're doing wrong to making it to what they're doing right, right? How do you think you'd feel then if somebody said, hey man, that was great. You know, you may not have made the basket, but that form that you had, that was amazing. You had your elbow in, you shot it, and you know what? Sometimes they don't go in, but man, you did great. How good do you think you would feel after doing that if somebody did that for you? And then are you going to wait for somebody else to do it for you? In those situations, if you, on the inside of you, that you're the being that you are inside your mind, inside you, you're going, I'm doing this, instead of I'm not waiting for somebody else to do it. You develop that strength that says, I can do this for myself. I'm my best cheerleader. I'm my best positive motivator. I mean, if you ever watch, and I've done it, if you ever watch encouraging, motivating videos on YouTube or anywhere, anybody's motivating video, you watch it, you feel inspired afterwards. You feel good. You feel like you're motivated. You feel like you're ready to go. Does it wear off? Yeah. After a couple hours, it's going to go away. But when somebody else does that, it helps you to become positive, to become motivated. If you do it for yourself, you can do it at any time. You can repeatedly do it so that it doesn't wear off. Because you're saying, yeah, that was, you know, I did really good, even though I didn't make a lot of those baskets. I did the best I could with that form, and it's getting there, and I started making more than I did before, right? And I'm going to keep trying, because if I keep trying, I'm going to get more results like I already have. I've already gotten good results, and I've gotten positive feedback from it. And you be the person that says, yeah, that's great, man. I did this, and I tried it, and I started making more. You know, that thing, you know, I may not have hit the ball in the home run derby. I may not have hit 10 home runs, but I hit 3. That's better than I thought I was going to do. I thought I wasn't going to hit any. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. And that's my example from recently. My son had a home run derby that they were doing for his baseball team, and they allowed the adults to do it. And I haven't done anything other than play baseball with the kids over the summer. I haven't hit like on a team or anything. And I didn't know what was going to happen. I watched these other people up there, and some of them couldn't even hit the ball. And they didn't even get the hits, let alone hit home runs over the wall and over the fence. So I believed in myself, and I said, well, I'm just going to do the best I can. And I taught my son how to play baseball better and swing a baseball bat. I'm going to use the things that I'm telling him, and then even the positive things that I'd tell him when I'm up there at the plate. The ball is going to hit the bat. The ball is going to go flying over the fence. I'm going to hit home runs. I'm going to be excited about it. I put into motion those positive thoughts and feelings like I was telling him, and it was working for him. It worked for me as well. So I hit 3, and I kept using it. And then there were a couple other rounds, and I did some in the other rounds. It was a little harder because we didn't have as much of a pitches coming in. But it was okay because I stayed in there. I tried my best, and I did hit some home runs. And I had even some compliments from some of the kids on his team. They're like, yeah, you hit some bombs. And I felt good about it. And it was because I tried. I talked positively to myself, and I kept going. I kept a good cheerleader on the inside of me saying, Brian, you can do this. The ball's going to hit the bat. It's going to go over the fence. And I did that in the final round. The first 2, I had this strong feeling, and I think I stopped after that. I hit 2 of them right over the fence. I didn't even hit 2 in a row the last time when I did it with 12 pitches, 10 pitches, whatever it was. So it's good to have a positive thought inside, and positive feelings, positive reactions, going for yourself, cheering yourself on, being there for yourself, and not being absent from being present. Being present and saying, I did my best, and what else could I do to improve? And then you go and improve. You do those things. You find out those things. I'm very conscious, and I'm very quick to adjust what I do because I'm very versatile, and I'm very aware of what things are going on when they're happening. And when I swing, I'd notice where the bat was, and I'd notice where I hit, and notice where I'd hit home runs and where I wouldn't. So I'm very noticing in a lot of that stuff. If you're not that kind of person, you might need another person that helps you and says, here, put the bat here instead of up here or down here. So you may need somebody that helps you with that. And there are times where people do that, and it's okay, because sometimes those people are meant to be there to do that for you. I've had people do that for me in my life. I've had mentors. And yes, I've had to pay them, but at the same time, even before I paid them, they still helped me, and they developed me up and made me feel good about myself and made me a better person and helped me with it. I felt good about it. I felt positive, and I felt the love that they gave that I received from them. So change the positive thoughts. Change to positive thoughts. And when you have those positive thoughts, you're going to do better in situations. So you have to get familiar with it. If you're not familiar with it and you're negative and you're always talking and speaking like, I suck at this, I'm not good at this, I'm stupid. If you say those things, you're going to be familiar with those. You need to make those more unfamiliar and make the things that are positive, that are better for you, the better thoughts, familiar. And that's from Marissa Peer. Make the unfamiliar familiar. Things that you're not used to doing, make them something you're used to doing. And stop the negative talk. Stop the negative thoughts, feelings. And when you stop them and you feel positive, you realize there's a shift in the way you think while you're going and you're ready to do something. If you're excited when you're nervous and you say, I'm excited, and you get your energy and you move your body and you jump up and down, instead of just sitting there saying, oh, I'm nervous, I don't know how I'm going to do. And you say, all right, yeah, I got this. I'm positive. I'm jumping around. And you make that energy positive, inspiring. You're going to do so much better as opposed to the negative thoughts that you were thinking, oh, I don't know how this is going to go. And thinking in there, if you say, I don't know how this is going to go, you're already thinking the negative. You're already thinking this is not going to go the way I want it to go. So another, sometimes the negative thoughts, and finding out, what it is that caused those negative thoughts that come in also needs to happen, because you also need to figure out what it is that's the underlying cause. There might be, a belief that you have because somebody else instilled it in you. Maybe somebody didn't believe in you because they saw something in you that they didn't have, and they saw, it's a common thing in this world, the way it is currently, to bring others down so that they're below our level, so that we're higher than them. And I try not to do that, because I know how it feels to be brought down, and I've been suppressed through my whole life. I felt like I was a quiet person, and I felt like there were things that people said to me that maybe they didn't mean to, like family, friends, and the way I took things, it was a sensitivity thing. I was a sensitive being, sensitive person. And the way I took them, it was, oh, well, however I'm doing this, that person doesn't think that I'm good, or I don't think that I'm good because of how they said it to me. If they say, oh, well, yeah, well, that wasn't a good thing. You didn't really do a good job at doing that. Well, and maybe it was a parent that said that, or maybe it was a brother or sister. Brothers and sisters fight with us all the time. There's always a conflict there, because you're trying to do something and they're trying to do something. You're trying to get something out of your situation, and you want it to always benefit you. I mean, that's just a common thing for everybody, is to have the benefits and have the better life, and have, an easier life, have easier things, have less strain and less negativity. And sometimes other people cause that for us inadvertently, and sometimes they do it on purpose. So if there's an underlying cause, just come into the realization. A lot of times negativity and negative thought patterns happen from something that happened when you were younger, not thinking you're good enough, because like an example, when I was younger, I broke a lamp, just throwing the football around, or whatever it was, basketball inside the house. It was probably a smaller basketball. It was probably something not like a big normal size one. Broke it, and my dad was upset with me, and I took that as, oh, my dad's upset with me and he's angry with me. And the way it was, the way things are in the world, is you continue to be angry because you want that person to realize they did something wrong, not realizing, and I didn't realize it until now, the way I parent my kids. Yeah, I may say that to them, but I'm going to go up to them instead of letting them sit like I had, and I have no negative feelings towards my father at this at all, because I've released all this and let it go. Letting me stir in my bed overnight when I fell asleep, I cried myself to sleep because I didn't feel like I was cared about. And that was me that took it that way. My father didn't mean it that way. He didn't say that specifically. He didn't push that in my face. But that's what I took it as, because there was no coming back to me and saying, like I've done with my kids. My son we were playing football together with my daughter, and he's 3 years older, and they're about 12 to 9 years old now, 9 to 12 I should say. And then it was probably a couple years ago, so it was even 6 to 9ish, in that range, 6 to 10, 7 to 10, somewhere in that range. And my son hurt my daughter, and at first I was kind of upset with him, and I was getting angry at him a little bit, and I saw the look on his face, and I saw how he acted. He got upset about it. He got upset, and he said, "I'm sorry." And I went over and hugged him, and I gave him reassurance like that. Okay, you made a mistake. It's okay. And I let it go. And the same thing happened another time. He was helping me mop the floor, and I must have bought the world's cheapest mop, because he was mopping the floor and he slipped, fell on the mop, and broke the mop. And he got so upset with himself. He got so upset because he thought I was going to be so angry at him because the mop broke. And me in this situation, I stopped myself and I said, he's legitimately upset. he's really he's not, me being angry with him is not going to help the situation anymore. So I told him, and he was like, no, don't hug me. And I hugged him, and I said, it's okay. And sometimes that's what we need to do for ourselves, is to say it's okay that we made a mistake. It's okay that he broke the mop. It's okay that he accidentally hurt his sister. And he saw that, and I saw that, and that's how I adjusted and healed from that, is that I took that negative thought and feeling that I had, and I changed it, and I changed it for my son. I felt like I wasn't loved, and I didn't want him to feel that way. So I didn't want him to feel like I didn't care about him and live the life that I've lived, where I've thought from then on, and other situations had come up, and sometimes the cycles happen and they go through and happen reoccurring until you deal with it. So like how I felt unloved, other things came up to make me feel unloved. So it was a cycle, but it was the cycle to teach me. It wasn't a cycle to punish me and to torment me. It was there for me to learn from and say, here, that thing that you didn't deal with correctly, and it's fine that I didn't deal with it correctly, because life is a learning thing, and not everybody learns the exact same way, and not everybody's taught by your parents the exact same way. I took it and learned from it, and I said, I'm going to learn this instead of allowing my son to continue with the life that I had. Thinking negatively, thinking poorly, thinking I wasn't loved, thinking I wasn't good enough. And it was all in here. And it wasn't put there by anybody other than the actions that I thought and the way I took the actions. Oh, well, Dad's mad at me and he's angry at me. He must not love me. And that was something that I thought when I was that age, probably 6, 7, around that age. I didn't know to think that. It's just the way I took it. Because my father never came over and said, it's okay. I'm angry with you and upset with you that you broke my lamp. But it's okay, because I understand that you can make mistakes. And I'm understanding with you. So in a little tangent, in my coaching program, this is what I'm doing, is helping make that shift from thinking poorly of yourself like I did, and having very little confidence, not having any confidence in myself and my success, not having success. And I changed it and shifted it to thriving, and I can do that for others. Shifting it to thriving, positive thinking, having good thoughts, having good feelings, feeling amazing about yourself and your life, and admitting and allowing your true self to emerge, and thoughts and feelings to change to that positive life, and engage in those positive things that get you on the right path and set the trajectory for you to emerge as an empowered being, right? And then, of course, when you're empowered, you're able to figure out what it is that you're here for, because you clear all the clutter, you clear all the smoke, you clear all the junk that's in there, the cobwebs that are in your brain and in your energy, and you release them and you extract them, push them elsewhere. It doesn't matter where they go as long as they're not here. They're not inside you anymore. You push them away, and you can find yourself in your purpose. You can get on your path that you're meant to get on, because then there's nothing that holds you back. There may be some fear, there may be some ego still tied in, which is fine. It's not like it was though before. So taking it from the poor judgment, poor thought, to positive, empowering and then getting on the path where you figure out what you're here to do and what you're meant to do. And that's what we're here for. We're here for what our soul wanted to learn and grow from and wanted to do in this life, to experience, to live the life that you're meant to live. We're not meant to sit here and be working in a factory that makes us feel like, oh, we're doing this, boop, you're hitting a button, boop, boop. You're just hitting a button and you're bored out of your mind because you're like, I didn't come here to hit a button. If you're going to do that, you might as well have a machine do it. And maybe eventually that's what'll happen. Maybe that'll happen someday where there's just machines doing those jobs. Hitting the button. You're not here to hit a button. You're here for what it is that lights you up. What it is that on the inside that you feel so strongly about that you have to do, that you feel like you want to do, and it shifts you into a positive direction doing it. And me, like learning the things that I learned in my life and going through the difficult things and challenges that arose, I should say. Those things that came up and taught me. They taught me how to deal with things. And now in turn, I'm excited and passionate about giving to somebody else that doesn't have what I had, doesn't have somebody that I didn't have, or has somebody that I didn't have. And coming to and learning from the things that they're in, that maybe they can't learn it the way I did and can't adjust the way I did. They can shift into a better, positive way and then maybe get out of their own way and come over and figure out what it is that they're here to do. So that is something that you're interested in, comment. Say, yes, Brian. Or say, yeah, sure. Yes, Brian, I believe in this. I believe in myself. Because when you make that decision, you're doing that for yourself. Yeah, you're doing it to help me fulfill whatever it is that I came here for my purpose. But you're also figuring it out for yourself and adjusting and making those changes that you can't do on your own. So, like, subscribe, comment. I'm interested in hearing what people have to say. Now, I've had some other comments in the past, and if I don't feel like I'm going to comment on it, and I don't think it deserves a comment, because I didn't mean it that way, then I'm not gonna. There was another video that somebody made a comment, and I said it was a short, and I said, you are exactly where you are meant to be. And the person said, well, tell that to the people that die of preventable diseases every year. Now, do you think I'm gonna come up to that person? Am I gonna come into that person and show up in that person's life and say, hey, you're meant to be where you are, and then they die? No, I don't think so. That's not where I meant to go with it. And you know that. You're just being a negative person. If you're going to be a negative person, that's exactly why you're going to get the negative things that you have in your life, right? Because that's how it works. The energy you feed is the energy that you get back. So I didn't feed into it, and I said, okay, you said what you needed to say. Apparently, you needed to say that out loud to somebody else and to invoke and inject a negative part for it. But I did this. You said it. Okay. But I don't need to respond to that, because that's not something that I feel needs a response, because you know that's not what I meant it for. You just did it to be the person that you are and be a pain in the butt. And that's okay. You can be a pain in the butt, but I'm not going to acknowledge it. Like, subscribe, comment. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what you have going on. Thank you.